What's up, guys? I'm just starting one of my favorite warm-up routines, and I'm gonna go through every little detail of it and the whole process and show you guys what my favorite warm-up routine is. This warm-up routine is gonna be good for before any of your gym workouts, if it's a lower body or even a full body, or even before a big game or a sports game if you're involved in some sort of sports league, or even if it's for a hike. And this routine is also going to be really good if you're actually just really sore, because when you're really sore and a lot of people just want to stay still and they get all stiff and tight, so doing a good warm-up routine is actually really good to get that blood flowing throughout your whole body and to loosen up all the tight muscles that you were lifting either the day or previous day. First, I like to do a little bit of foam rolling and then just open up my chest a little bit with this stick. If you don't have a stick, you can pretty much do the exact same motion just without the stick. But making sure your core is engaged. You don't want to let your hips go out, so you want to make sure those core and glutes are both engaged while you're gripping the ground with your feet. But I usually get this about 10 times before I go right into a round of Wim Hof breathing. And I actually made a whole video on this before, but what this is gonna do is it's gonna over-oxygenate my whole entire body and just pretty much give me a supercharge, get me ready to perform, not just physically, but mentally as well. And just really gets you in the present moment. So a lot of times when you walk into the gym, you got other things going on. When you restart that breathing, it's just the best way to make yourself become present. So what I'll do is I'll do 25 deep breaths, as deep as I possibly can, and then I'll let all the oxygen out of my lungs and get max push-ups. And I'll show you what I mean. So I like to start with my hands behind my back, and that's just because, like I said, I have a pretty tight chest. So when I'm breathing, I can focus on opening that up and getting that blood flowing into my back and into my chest. I'm using my feet and I'm gripping the ground. And then I take in 25 deep breaths, as deep as I possibly can. And the goal is to pretty much intake as much oxygen as possible. And then after 25 deep breaths, I let one good exhale out and do as many push-ups as I can. And I'll start now. With doing that, I can feel just the oxygen rushing through my whole body and all my cells. That's really what's gonna help your whole body get nice and warmed up. You see I'm starting to sweat, my body's moving, my body's working, getting ready for a good session. And then after that, I like to go straight into a nice hip alignment stretch that you can really focus on opening up your hips. Getting good deep breaths in throughout this whole entire process. That's one of the most important things, is breathing deep. You want to have that oxygen just rushing through every part of your body. I'll go from there, shift my weight back, focus on my alignment. I'm making sure my big toe is touching the ground. I'm trying to straighten this out as much as I can. As you can see, I'm pretty tight here as well. And I'll just go back and forth, getting good deep breaths. And then I'll switch. Get a good, nice hamstring warm up here. And again, make sure you're breathing deep. Breathing that oxygen into everything that's tight. Good. Check in with your fingers, check in with your toes. That's the goal here, is really just checking into your whole body, getting the blood flowing, getting the oxygen moving. Good. Then after that, I like to go straight into a squat set. Have you guys seen before? This is one of my favorite stretches. Is actually, in my opinion, probably the best lower body stretch that you can do. Make sure you're gripping the ground with your toes. You have a nice straight back, and you're focusing on pulling your knees outward, okay? Get a nice good warm up. And what this does is it just gives you that mind-body connection where you can check into your toes, check into your feet, check into all your muscles throughout the whole body. We're gonna do the leg kicks just side to side. And again, if you can't do these and if you're struggling with these, that just means that it's probably the perfect warm-up for you, because it's just the best way to challenge your balancing and to challenge your core work while you're warming up. So you're kind of killing two birds with one stone. So that's why I really like to do my balance work while I'm warming up, because it's realigning everything to making sure when I'm doing my lifting, I'm also aligned and balanced as well. So I'll go from side to side. Okay, now the last thing that is one of my favorite things to do right before I jump into my workouts is just a good old-fashioned flex. And I actually learned about this from watching a lot of Bruce Lee videos, is when you get into a correct posture, a correct position, and then you just simply give your body a good strong 5 to 10 second flex throughout your whole entire body. It's one of the best and greatest ways to not just push blood into your cells and into your muscles that you're about to exercise, but it's a good way just to get those activating and get those firing at the optimal level. So the simplest way to do it is always start with your feet. You want to grip the ground with your toes and then turn your knees outward while you're squeezing in your glutes, okay? So you start from the bottom and work your way up while stacking your body and getting everything nice and tight and flexed. So you grip the ground, turn your feet outwards, and then you engage your core. Make sure you're not like this, but your core is nice and engaged, and you're squeezing in your glutes, okay? Now from here, just simply flex in every single muscle that you possibly can, from your calves to your quads to your abdomens to your back and your arms. Flex in everything, and when you flex it, you'll feel it activating and you'll feel a huge difference throughout your workout. I'll show you what I mean. Then you can get a good relax, and you might want to hit 1 to 2 to even 3 sets of this. Whew. Now everything's activated, we're ready to work out. Alright guys, so that was my favorite warm-up exercises that I like to throw into my warm-up routine. If you have different ones that you would like me to try or check out, just leave them in the comments below. And you don't necessarily have to do this full routine, so you can take a few exercises out of the routine and implement them into yours. You can also save this routine and come back to it again and again and again before your games or before your long gym workouts to come back to and see how you're progressing with it. So again, if you like this video, if it helped, make sure you give it a big old fat thumbs up and make sure you subscribe, and also check out my website because I'm adding a bunch of new stuff on there, www.thewillgrant.com. Later.